between trail of thoughts. Pardon me if I'm not able to articulate certain things because apart from speaking things, I'm also dealing with a lot of nostalgia and all the silo of memory that I have and everything that I am, that I want to be, that I want to do, comes from this foundation, from this school, this space, the teachers that I have been with, and the uniforms that you wear, the auditorium that you perform in, the corridors that you walk in, everything is such a big part of me. And it's not something I'm saying right now. In every acting workshop that I've been to, in every institution that I've been to, I have very strongly realized that the foundation that was laid for me in the school, and I am sorry, my battery is sorry about that. So I've realized this at every point in my life that the foundation that was laid in school and the kind of encouragement, the kind of mentorship, the kind of nurturing that I received in school has really laid the foundation of everything that I've done thereafter. So, I mean, I know schools are a very important part of everyone, but I think for me, I feel it was something more than just a certain kind of education. So, thank you so much for having me, firstly, and allowing me to interact with everyone. Uh, I've Thank you so much for sharing the work that I have done, and there is so much more that is happening, and there is so much more to do. There is so much more to learn. So, to begin with, uh, I'll just talk about the journey in brief. Where does this thing of becoming an artist come from? And it actually started in school. Um, I remember being this very shy kid and initially and not being very out there. And I remember, and I'll come from it from a very personal anecdote. From the age of 14, 15, we start having hormonal changes in our body, and my face had a lot of pimples, and my face got filled with pimples, and my entire confidence came down to this low where I remember principal ma'am one day told me, why don't you look in the eyes when you talk? Because I was so conscious about my face that I was always looked down and here and there. And at some point Ritu ma'am noticed this. She noticed this behavior without really saying anything. And but one day in class, she very out of the blue, she was saying this in general, but then she very out of the blue pointed at me and said, "You are more than your face, Rohan." And it suddenly shifted so much within me. And from there on, she casted me as Romeo on the first Shakespeare play that the school was having. And I was on the stage playing Romeo with face filled with pimple, but it didn't matter. I was this hero in a Shakespearean play, and so many claps and so many appreciation and so much happened within that through the performance and how she took us through the process of that performance. And it really laid the foundation for me to know that I can do this. And throughout this journey, my guru Vivek sir, he was always there from the very beginning, from the absolute nascent stage when I spoke my first dialogue on stage. From there to the point where he made his first feature film and he casted me as his protagonist, he's held my hand in terms of course, diction and body language and acting and everything. But the most important thing that has been the most fundamental thing of my core is he said कि जुनून होता है तो सब हो जाता है. And that has meant so much to me because the foundation of sincerity, of passion, of being determined, of being focused, if you can somehow make this your approach to learning, there is nothing that is not possible. There is nothing that cannot be learned. There is nothing that that can seem impossible, because if you can learn how to learn, any institution that you go to, or even if you don't go to an institution, learning is a process that cannot stop because it's happening all the time, because it's happening every moment. And so much of this was laid for me in the school itself. And I'm always so grateful And people around me, my mother, my parents always tell me that you've been so blessed with great teachers. And I realize it all the time. I've been so blessed with such great teachers. Uh, so thank you again for having me. Uh, I'll just talk about the work that I do in Bombay. I'm an actor primarily, and I act in theater, films, web series, sketches, everything and anything that I can get my hands on. I'm also a trained filmmaker by training, so editing, sound designing, and helping others realize their vision is also part of my work. In Bombay, I have been working as a voice artist, so I'll just share some work as we go along in the interaction. And within this interaction, at some point, I want to emphasize the importance of training, and I want to emphasize the fact that everything is connected. No matter what you choose as a career, it doesn't have to define or limit your ability to learn, or your ability to learn from other subjects, or your ability to grow as a person. No matter what career you choose, there are some very fundamental things that I have realized through the process of acting, and I'm fairly convinced that it holds true for anything that you do in life. So I'm sorry it's not a scripted speech that I have, so I'll just keep coming back to things and keep shifting between what I have to share, and of course from your questions that come in, because I realize this point that you're at, the students that we are talking to, uh, this point where we choose and we are ridden with questions of what is possible, am I good at this, will I be good at this, can I earn from this, will I be able to make a living out of this, will I be, and all those questions about what I want to do, what I should do, what my parents want me to do, what my teachers want me to do, and what I'm good at. So all these questions are it's a very mixed khichdi at this point, and I realize it. But I want to assure you of one thing, and I say this from experience: uh, anything is possible. It's just a matter of focusing on it, and being honest to yourself, and being sincere to yourself. Nothing else. You don't have to show your sincerity to anyone. It's not a moral question. It's just a matter of finding something that can allow you to experience life to its full intensity. And it's best if you choose something that you love, because life is full of these hurdles, and not, I won't even say hurdles, but these unpredictable situations that you can just enjoy if you're doing something you love. So that's that. Uh, yeah, I think if we have some questions, we can move in a particular direction. Otherwise, I'll keep going on.
Uh, right. We have so many questions for you, Rohan, and you just said it is not at all scripted. Let me tell you, had it been scripted, I would have been very ashamed of it myself. Right. Over to you, Avni. Whatever questions that you have, and Kitty.
Avni, unmute yourself.
Yes,
Let's
stop.
go.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are
Yes.
audible.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences. And
It sounds so weird
if
to be
I may,
called sir. I'm sorry. Please don't call me sir. I just because I'm
sir,
with
if
my
I may,
teachers, so
can
it's sorry. Sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
no, sir, you go ahead.
Well, Rohan is just requesting Avni not to call him sir. You may call him Bhaiya. That would be better. I think that
Yeah,
would
that's
give
that's
him that would give him a personal touch.
Okay, ma'am. So, Bhaiya, if I may, can I please ask you some questions which I collected from my friends earlier?
sure. Sure. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, sir, there are some people who are method actors and they assume a role from the moment they step onto the.
So I think we lost Avni.
Uh,
Avni,
Ritu
Sir,
ma'am,
Yes. Yes, it's there.
continue, Avni.
okay. So I just as well as asking. There are some people who are method actors and they assume a role from the moment they step onto the set for the first time, and they never leave that role until the film wraps. And there are other actors who study the script a lot to prepare for the roles. So, sir, what is your process of getting into a role, into a particular character, and how do you prepare for it?
Uh, so it's a question, it's a process that I'm also evolving. It's not a fixed, defined process of creating characters because the magnanimity of this art form is such that it has so much to do with this instrument that we call the body and the mind that it can be used in so many ways. Sometimes the characters are just purely physical, and by surrendering to their physicality, your internal starts changing. So there have been characters that I've played in theater where there was no dialogue, there was no script in terms of dialogue, but there was an intention that the character had, and there was this kind of a body, there was this twist in the body that he always carried, and by being in that psychophysical, we call it, it's because the psychology and the physicality is one unit, the physics and the body and the mind. So by surrendering to that body posture, your internals, your psychology starts changing, therefore your breath starts changing, and therefore your thought process starts changing. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes it comes from a very personal space within your life. And that's what the method primarily is about. I've trained in the method, and what the method asks you to do, what it demands you to do, is that you must experience it while doing it. It's not a matter of delivering or the result. It's not a matter of how it looks. It's a matter of what did you experience in that moment. And therefore, it consumes all your senses because that's how we experience reality. We experience reality through our five senses. So, if we can somehow train our senses to go to a particular moment or a particular imagination, and our sense of sound, smell, hearing, visuals, all the five senses, touch, everything can go to a particular moment, and therefore thereby you start experiencing something, and it translates on the screen. It primarily works more for screen because it's a very internal medium. The camera is just right here, and it's capturing certain very nuanced, very truth of your being, so you don't need to do anything. But in theater, I've done Parsi theater, and Parsi theater is one of the, that's the foundation of our Bollywood. That loud drama and that heroism and that melodrama, मार होती है, दुश्मन आता है और रुस्तम सोहराब और आप तलवार लेके खड़े हैं. So all that is purely energy, and that is being expanded on stage, and that is just projecting your energy to the last uh, person, but that too with conviction, that too with the sense of rootedness within the body and the mind. So sometimes it's that. So that's the beauty of it. That's why art is so beautiful, because there is no formula to it. You cannot learn it by going step by step. It's an exploration. You there is nothing wrong, there is nothing right, there is no one way to reach it. It's like life, and that's why it's so beautiful, because there are endless possibilities and you can reach anywhere through anywhere. So if someone wants to be an actor, then with my very limited knowledge, I'll suggest that don't look for one method. Look for what affects you. How does one method affect you, how does other method affect you, and go explore everything. And I think it's much more enjoyable that way. So that's the process.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, for the next question, could you please share us some cool and intriguing behind the scenes stories from your sets?
Cool and intriguing, that's a pressure. I don't know if it's cool or if it's intriguing. There are so many things that are I remember very recently we performed in Prithvi, and so I also do music in theater sometimes. So I was playing a Pakhavaj, and it's on the life of uh, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the character. It's the first women monk that joined Buddhism very early in 12th century. uh, Amrpali. It's the story of Amrpali and how she becomes a dancer. And there is a sequence in the play where she's dancing on the stage, and I'm playing Pakhavaj from the background, and it's a very intimate space. And within that moment, she was dancing so much in trance, and I also went in trance while playing it, that the Pakhavaj just boom, wo phat gaya. And within the middle of the play, there is a hole in the Pakhavaj. And I looked at the director, and the director looked at me, and then somehow we stood in the background and we are playing Pakhavaj from our foot. So we are stomping on the floor to create the rhythm, and we are clapping, and we are doing this. We are using our entire body so that the rhythm keeps going on. And we're laughing while this is happening, and the actress knows that this has happened, but she's maintaining her character. So, and the audience didn't know. When it finished, audience said, "What a way to create music! You used your bodies to create music," and it was such a fresh thing to see. And we have this internal joke going on, and we are laughing at each other, and we're like, "Yeah, thank you so much, thank you. We really practice that." So things like that keep happening, and things like that keep going wrong, and then you improvise, and it keeps happening all the time on sets and everything. So yeah, it's fun.
Yes, sure. So, Bhaiya, what do you prefer, a live theater or a pre-recorded films? And if you're given an opportunity, which would you choose?
Sorry, I the live theater or
Or pre-recorded films?
pre-recorded films. Very different mediums, very different aesthetics, very different explorations, I'll say. Theater is primarily an actor's medium. Everything that's happening on stage, yes, there is set design, there is lights, and there is music, everything, but that is the root of everything is the actor's body and his mind and his energy and the vibrations from the audience and the performer. And the beautiful thing about theater is it seems that the performer is performing, but the performance is actually happening because of the audience. It's because there are two entities in the space. The audience is one entity, and the performer is one entity. And it's the third entity of their togetherness is functioning even beyond the knowledge of the actor. I'm not controlling that. It's a very organic, it's an organism in itself that is functioning because of this vibration between the audience and the performer, because plays keep changing every night. Every time we perform it, there is a different vibration. It keeps changing. It's never fixed because the audience is different, because the performer's mood is different, because we perform some plays 2 years later and you have grown as a person, or perhaps you're in a different space as a person, and the meaning of the play changes. So theater, in terms of that, if I may say so, it's very spiritual, because there is no other way of doing theater besides being in the moment. There is no other way. You only have to be in the moment, and there is no other way. Screen, for that matter, of course, it involves truth and performance and everything, but it's a very technical medium. It's a director's medium. There are 300 people working to make that one shot working, and all we see is that actor. And 300 people on set, I am saying. After it's shot, there are again 15 people who work on your edit, who work on the sound design, who work on color correction to make you look good, who work on so many other things to make the impact that you get when you see the performance. And to you, it feels like, oh, what an actor. But it's very rarely the actor's work that affects you so much. It's primarily the medium. The strength of the medium is such that it can shift between time and space, play with your psychology, it can take you to your memories, and it can just shift this reality of time and space, create this heightened illusion of reality. So as in screen, so just to sum up the question, I prefer exploring theater as an actor, but I prefer exploring the screen medium as an overall artist, which includes acting, which includes editing, which includes cinematography, because it all comes together to create that one. Because in the end, see, we are all trying to share stories, and we are trying to share something with the audience. So the point is not to be egocentric about, oh, I am an actor and I have to make the shot work, or what is important for me. The point is to really surrender to this feeling of sharing, that we want to do with the audience. And I think it just works better if it's that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, truly said, Bhaiya, truly said. So, Bhaiya, we have all heard about this glamorous world of acting, but there must be some drawbacks or some limitations to it. So, can you please elaborate on that?
Can you please repeat the question once so that I'm on track? I keep digressing. Sorry.
Yeah, no issues. We have all heard about this world of acting, the glamour and the showbiz. So, but there must be some drawbacks or some limitations to it. So, can you please elaborate on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the glamour of it. The Chaka Chand कहते हैं या माया नगरी कहते हैं बॉम्बे को. Uh, the the drawback of this process is exactly that. Is exactly that, and that's exactly why we come to it. Also, I'll be honest. I wanted to be an actor because I wanted validation. I wanted validation from everyone. I wanted validation from the world, from people around me, and I wanted, you know, to have autographs and all of that. It's natural to come to that. But when you come into the process of acting and realizing that the only space that you act from is this self, this self that you are, and the honesty that you have, the hindrance between that is this need of validation, is this our desire to be popular, our desire to be glamorous, our desire to become celebrities is exactly what stops us from being honest to the process. Because we want to get there, we want to get there fast, we want it right now, we want every audition to click, we want things to happen right now, and we're not willing to do the tapasya that it requires, that any art form requires. If you see classical dancers, I'm sure there are students here who are classically, who are either training classically or who are classical dancers. If you see their approach, and that's why we must take from our Indian method of training, because I've trained in Kerala, I went to Adishakti in Pondicherry, and our Indian system of classical training of dance and abhinay and nritya and music, it's very spiritual. It's about this focus of practice and practicing it every day, and the process is about growing in your art, and it's not about what you get from the art, from the world, how do they recognize you. It's not about awards. The routine of the people that are yakshagan theater artist or kudiyattam theater artist, their routine starts at 6 o'clock. They have a very rigorous 3 hour body workout. They go into meditation for 3 hours. After that, they sit in front of a candle for 2 hours, where their entire gaze is about being at this point of the flame and creating an entire world in this small circumference of the flame. And after that, they play instruments to work on the rhythm. So what I'm trying to say is, the process in itself is so consuming and so rewarding that if you truly give to it, it will take you away from this need of becoming glamorous, from this need of becoming a celebrity. But unless you do that, it will not allow you to grow. You might think you want to be an actor, you come to Bombay, or perhaps you train for a little and then you come to Bombay, or you don't come to Bombay, whatever. But why, if you're trying to be result oriented, and if you're trying to be get something out of it, out of the result, it will not serve you. But if you give to it, if you give yourself, your energy, your focus to any art form or anything for that matter, it will give you back in so many ways that the world cannot validate. I cannot tell you what I have gotten out of this process, because it's not a tangible thing, it's not an award, it's not money. It's something very, very personal that has allowed me to see life in different way, and that is much more rewarding and enriching than any other glamorous uh, part of it. So yeah, yeah.
Avni, can I just take the liberty of actually Rinku ma'am wants to ask one question from Rohan. Over to you, Rinku ma'am. And if you can
Yes,
switch
ma'am,
on your
sure. Go
video
ahead,
also,
please.
Rinku ma'am.
Yes, yes. Good morning, everyone. Good
Good
morning,
morning, ma'am.
Rohan.
Morning,
How are
ma'am.
you?
I am great, ma'am. I'm
So
great.
good to see you, actually. I was so engrossed in it, I forgot what my question was, to be honest. So today I'm just listening to you. I mean, these words, all the words put together, and I put together whatever interaction we had in the school. I think this is many folds more. So I'm just still absorbing it, right? So congratulations on all the success and the good work that you're doing. So I would simply ask you, Rohan, one thing. Pardon me for the disturbance from my side. There's some work going on. I just wanted to know, suppose in my class there are children who keep on saying, ma'am, I'm not much interested in academics. Theater is my calling, that's my passion. But my parents always want me to focus on academics, and theater can be plan B. The plan A is always the academics. So I sometimes tell them few things like follow your passion, but I don't exactly know. You have put it in so wonderful words that I was like, okay, I'll direct everyone to Rohan now. They can talk to you and ask. So is it really so simple, Rohan, or were there struggles? So did the same thing happen with you, like academics or theater, or was there a point where you were in a dilemma? Or was it like, yeah, there was a clarity that you wanted to do this always and you would go for it, whatever the struggles be? So all those who are listening, I think they would like to hear this answer from you. Expert's voice. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's. Thank you so much for asking this, because why I'm wanting to share this is because I think I truly get these 70 people that are here, because I truly connect with you. I, it's exactly this. I was preparing for engineering, friends. I was preparing for IIT and NIT and engineering, and I studied the same thing 11th 12th in school, and then you go to a coaching center, and then you work, and all these subjects and all these questions, and this entire pressure of being in a premier engineering institute. And I wasn't clear. I was clear in the sense within myself. I always wanted it, but in the outside world, being from a non-filmy background and all of that, and being in a city here, I had no idea about how to go about it. Um, but what I realized is, and I realized this later, I was working with a director called Quasar, and he told me he came to me and he told me, Rohan, art is like an asymptote. And if there are mathematics students here, ma'am would know, the equation of an asymptote is such that it's always trying to touch the axis. It's an asymptote of a curve. The nature of it, the desire of the nature of it exactly is to always attempt to touch it, but it never touches it. It can never touch it. That's the destiny. But still it will go. The affinity is to touch it. And and I realized that day that everything is related. I never realized that mathematics is philosophy, and that what I'm trying to do is actually mathematics. And and thereafter history and psychology and science. And so it might seem like theater and acting is different from academics. It seems like that because that's how it looks on the outer spectrum. But I can assure you that if you want to be an actor or any artist or anything, if you do focus on academics, not because you want to get a job out of it, but only because academics and subjects allow you to use your mind in certain ways, and they wire your mind to function in so many ways that when you're sitting, when you're on that stage as an actor, and when you're in the rehearsal stage as an actor, or when you're trying to make a film, there are so many world views, there are so many perspectives that you can have if you are just curious about subjects. You don't have to, you don't you matlab, I don't know if I should say this, but you don't have to top, you don't have to be number one, you don't have to score the highest. It's not about that. You can score the lowest, and that is okay. Yes, unless and until you are truly curious about it. Just be curious. Be curious about what is this mathematics? Where does all this number come from? And what are they trying to say? And what does it mean to me? And you can have your own interpretation of it. Nobody stops you. And it doesn't matter if it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's right. So that's the part of the philosophical side of understanding academics and art. But on a practical side, on a pragmatic side, yes, it helps a lot if you've trained in a certain subject. If For two reasons. Firstly, if you've studied one subject to the core, it opens up your mind in a lot of ways, and you have one more alternative to seeing the world. And secondly, if you've trained in the thing that you're trying to do, it will allow you ways to train yourself more. It will allow you ways to be in an everyday practice. And if you've trained, there are more job opportunities. So, for example, I trained in filmmaking. That has allowed me to survive in Bombay with a decent lifestyle, because I could edit, because I was able to sound design, because I trained myself in certain skills. I was able to earn. So yes, it is a practical. Let's not be very romantic about it, that everything works out and everything is nice. You have to train till some point, and you have to work on your skills. It allows you to subsidize your life, but at the same time, your approach to learning things it helps if it's open and if everything is connected. So yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't speak so much. I'm getting a
No,
little.
no, no. You're most
Music
welcome
to our
today. Thank you for answering that question so well, Rohan. So I hope all of the children who are listening to you and the ones who would talk to me now in future about this, yes, I would be able to tell them few things with so much clarity. So thank you and all the best for all your future endeavors. Hope to
Thank you so much.
keep seeing you more often.
Thank you so much.
All right. Rinku ma'am, I would like to answer partially to your question,
ma'am.
whether that he was really clear about his things or not. But you know, as a teacher, there is always a gut feeling, जो कि हम कह सकते हैं कि पूत के पाँव पालने में नजर आ जाते हैं. I remember we have become online during the COVID times. But this boy was online when he started, learning drums. So one day I remember asking him, where is he training himself for? And he told me कि वो तो मैम online मैं कर रहा हूँ. So I was surprised at that time. You know, I belong to the 1947 era where online कुछ सीख रहे हैं ऐसा हमको नहीं पता था. So he was one such boy. So if Rohan remembers this, I asked him कि can I take your autograph now? तब तक मैं बूढ़ी हो जाऊंगी. How will I find you? I do not know. So definitely पूत के पाँव पालने में नजर आते हैं. Right. Rohan, with this, I would really want to see some of your works if you can share with us.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. I think we're also getting out of time. I'll just quickly share certain snippets
Definitely.
of the
Sure.
work I've been doing. It'll be, I think, a little jittery because screen sharing gets a little jittery, but I think you'll be able to hear it. We can also, of course, always connect on Facebook and Insta, and we can see the work and give your feedback, please. I'll just share something. Sorry, I want to use my yeah.
You have to include the voice also, sound also.
Yeah. I just included the audio, screen audio. नमस्ते.
अरे मुन्ना भैया आ गए क्या?
हाँ, मैं मुन्ना त्रिपाठी, मिर्जापुर के प्रिंस और आपके नए इंटर्न. ओ चाचा, म्यूजिक करो बंद. थोड़ा रेस्ट कीजिए, नहीं तो रेस्ट इन पीस हो जाएंगे. समझ गए? बोलिए नमस्ते. नमस्ते. हाँ. लेकिन आपका बेटा तो एक जहादी था.
मेरा बेटा जहादी था, उसकी अम्मी नहीं.
कहते हैं कि अपने अजीज बंदों को अल्लाह अपने पास जल्दी बुला लेता है.
अगर वो अल्लाह के इतने अजीज है तो अल्लाह
Rohan,
उन्हें
are you sharing?
अपने पास क्यों नहीं रखता?
वो उन्हें भेजता है ताकि वो अल्लाह के लिए लड़ सके.
Are you sharing the video also?
Oh, it's not showing?
No, it was not. I
Oh.
think it's the Premiere that you are using. That's why.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll just open it through a player. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Unmute
Now-
yourself, Rohan. Yes.
No,
I'll just
share
forward
this-
it. I think we've
Share
seen
the
this.
screen with your audio. Share the screen with your audio.
Aha. I'm sorry. Technologically.
Computer audio. Computer
Yeah,
audio. Share with the computer audio.
Yeah, I am sharing with the computer audio.
Yes.
Is it audible?
Share